was just not above for me. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to What's the Word. Today I am here with Pierce Washington, a Dallas up-and-coming artist. He just dropped a tape called Past Due. Definitely check that out, all streaming services. But he's been making music for a very, very long time, I feel like. Since what, 2017?
Yeah, really producing since 2016.
Okay.
Then 2017 was when I was almost bullied into
rapping
and actually putting my voice on the music. So yeah, it's been a little minute.
Okay, fair. Okay, I do remember the SoundCloud days, so we gotta go.
Yeah.
We gotta go back. I'm pulling up the catalog right now. And don't hate Curtis, but I have heard some unreleased things from back then too.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's talk about what was the inspiration for your first project, Reserve. Sorry.
Yeah, no, all good. Reserved. So Reserved is funny. It's funny because listening back to it now is weird because now I think it's like super good.
Yeah,
like,
you didn't think it was?
I didn't know what I was doing.
Really?
Like, I didn't know how to produce and I didn't know how to write or song structure. But it's almost like when everything is self-taught, you don't have a reference point on what is correct or how to actually do something. So you're just figuring it out and like, oh, that sounds all right, cool, let's go with that.
Yeah.
So with that, I was figuring things out and putting together these little formulas in my head, like, oh yeah, this makes sense, this is good, that is good. When it was like, oh, you know, when I take it to somebody that really engineers or does music or something like that, they're like, oh, this is really good. You must have really locked it. No, we were, I know,
crazy.
It was a lot of days just sitting in a piano room. All the names of things on that project were just things that were in the room. Like, just things that were in the room. I remember we had like a track list on the wall and it was like Expo Marker.
Yeah, it's
random
giving.
stuff, right?
Exit is one of the names of the song.
Yeah, Exit. It was a sign in there. Lasco's in Abeja. The sample was a song called Abeja. And Lasco was the brand of the fan that was on the floor. So yeah, it was just figuring stuff out. Reserved stood for like reserved for the elderly. And I just thought that was just so cool in my mind because I was bullied into writing because one of my teachers in high school, a poetry teacher, he just kept saying, oh, you have such an old soul, da da da. And I was like, oh yeah, people with old souls are gonna feel this. So boom. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just figuring it out and being confident enough to be like, okay, let's push this out. And it got a great response for the time.
No, yeah, I definitely remember when this came out and like, this was like kind of in my era because like my parents didn't play a lot of like rap and stuff like that. So I kind of had to like find it myself. And so this was one of the things I was like, my parents will listen to this. And I was like, okay, y'all gotta hear this. This is fire. And my dad kind of dug it. So I was like, okay.
That's tough.
So did you mix and master that project too, or you just produced it?
I produced it. I did the recording. It was mixed and mastered by one of my friend's dads that just really loved doing it. I mean, he did it professionally for a lot of like R&B artists, and he's worked with a lot of people. Yeah. So I just gave him like just files, and I was like, I don't know what you do,
do what you need to do.
And it taught me a lot, you know. It's like, oh, he's asking for feedback. What do I feel about this sound, this bass, this kick? I didn't know what to say. Like, oh, this sounds good to me. Like, if it sounds good to you, cool. Let's put it out. Yeah. And then I realized, like, months later, I didn't like it. I didn't like the mix, and it was because I had to realize, oh, he's used to mixing for like live sessions and more R&B and this and that. So they mix things a certain way. But when you're mixing hip hop, it's different. want to hear the bass.
Yeah.
We want to hear something heavy, and we want the vocal to cut through. And that's when it hit like, oh. After a conversation with him, I'm like, oh, this is why I don't like it. Let me change those things, and then maybe when I give it to somebody else, oh, they'll understand what I need. So,
okay. Yeah. Growing as an artist?
Yeah. A lot of that after that project.
I do want to kind of skip to this project because the single you had on here, Loafers?
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. That's a repeat play for me.
Oh, man.
What was the inspo for that?
Oh, my God. So I'm in Baltimore when I created this song. So the only sample in there is a piano chord, that first one. Mm-hmm. That piano chord I played on accident, and I didn't know I was recording. So I took that chord and pretty much built the whole beat off of that. And it was cool, but I didn't have any words to it, so it just kind of sat alone. And then I like to drive around. Like in Baltimore, I didn't have a lot of friends, you know, or a lot of people that I would just sit up and talk to or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would ride around a lot, and that's when my brain would flow, you know, the lyrics. And I said one line, like I just put on random beats that I find on YouTube or something, just freestyling in the car, driving around. And I said, power is the only difference between like smacking a bitch and petting a dog. Like how hard, like, you know, like the power you put behind petting a dog, you could be and that, I was like, whoa, like that's dope.
Yeah.
Let's start there. And I said, oh, I made the beat the other day. Let's just force it. Let's force it to fit, because I never do that. If it doesn't just all, I don't do it. But that was the first time I forced something. And on the hook, I was like, it sounds like too much me. I need somebody else on there. And that's when I called my homeboy Naps. He's in San Antonio, great artist. And he just has like this voice where I'm like, oh, this is so dope.
Yeah.
Layered it in there, chopped it up, just like producing with voices. But yeah, it was all built around that one bar and that one chord. And it was just like, let's force it to be something. So
that's crazy. My favorite bar is the look of the draw.
Oh yeah. After that one, I was like, we gotta like throw some haymakers in there. It's gotta be some. So
spice it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I did see the other day you had posted that this is kind of like, well, obviously it's titled Past Due because it is Past Due.
Oh yeah.
Because you haven't really put anything out in a couple years, right?
Oh, it's been a grip, or at least something that I really, really, really cared about.
Yeah.
I came out with a single maybe 2021 just to let people know that I was breathing.
Yeah.
And also like see what the response would be. Like if I say, okay, I got one song this year, I'm gonna do a video for it. I'm gonna do all this and like put money in it. But if it's not something that you love, you're not gonna get that response back.
Right.
You know? So this is a collection of songs like the second track, Back to Basics, that was written in like 2018.
Dang.
And the music was made for it like 5 months ago. So
things just started randomly coming together.
I mean, they were all together. I think a lot of these songs, it pushed me into a different mode when all my music got deleted and like
I was gonna talk about that. I do have a picture of the tweet. We can bring that up right now.
Oh man. I wonder what I said.
You said, oh no, that's an unpopular opinion you have.
Oh yeah, there's a good amount of those.
You said 3 years, 2 albums, 200 plus songs, all gone. Took the night to grieve. I'll take the day to regroup. But we back on tomorrow. Can't drag my feet anymore. RIP my entire body of work. You will be missed. That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah, really. It was really crazy. To complete out, like, And these are albums where I'm teaching myself how to like really play piano and experimenting with these different sounds. And one album is like an R&B album, and another album is like kind of like Drake-ish, like nighttime vibe.
Yeah.
It was so all over the place. Great features, a lot of music, bands. It was crazy. And when it all went away like that, it was like, oh damn, I don't have time to just play and be like, oh, you know, I can be lackadaisical about this, because if I'm serious about it, I need to hone in, knock something out.
Right.
So the original album I had, it was called Silk and Wood Grain. Mm-hmm. And we had rollout for it and album covers. It was cool. It was a neo soul album. And it had to get scrapped. And I said, okay, in this one album, we have to keep the essence that we were looking for, show off production skills, but also show we've grown, and show rapping skills, but all in one, like just one heavy punch. Cut a 16-song album down to 10. Like, let's just do it. And re-record everything, get it done, and go. So yeah, it put me in a different mode, because it's almost like I was stripped away of something that I love. So now I've been given the chance to rebuild that, you know? And with that chance, you have to go really hard with it, you know? So that's what I did. And yeah.
That's fair. You gotta take it and run. The fact that you was like, I'm gonna take a day and I gotta get back to it, that says a lot. Because a lot of times, like, I know even like for me, like if something doesn't go right, I'm like, okay, I gotta sit with this for like a week.
Yeah.
But now you behind a week, so it's like, you know, it's not worth it.
Oh yeah.
Never worth sitting in it. Okay, since I did say you had an unpopular opinion.
Oh man, all right.
You was talking about music in the 2000s.
Oh yes.
Is there specific music in the 2000s that you feel like is not good? Or are we just putting it all in one box?
Nah, so so the opinion is generally so
the
the 90s, right? Black creativity was insane. Everybody was making these new waves, and it was cool to be talented and different in every avenue, with clothes, like the wild hats people were wearing. Like, you could do whatever you wanted as long as you were confident in it. It was cool. And the popular thing was just to be yourself and be cool and do that. And that was a great time, musically, everything. Hip hop, late 90s was in a great place, early 90s it's still in a great place. Yeah. And then you get the early 2000s, and they introduce to hip hop, and they introduced to R&B and all of these different platforms. Even for white pop artists, they introduced the mainstream black artists, right? So that's where you get, and these are a few names, right, that I will never forgive people for making this like, oh, that was the Ja Rule. I will never forgive people for, oh yeah, Ja Rule he's a top 5. Like, no, he's not. He's not.
I won't say he's top 5, but like Ja Rule had his moment.
He had his moment.
Him and Ashanti, to me, like, that's his moment.
And that's cool, but like, no one's quoting the actual art of rap that he's doing.
This is a fact.
Ever. And that was, because this is around the time of Pharrell owning 25% of all music. Right. He kept making a lot of the same songs with the same sounds, just with a different person on there. So when you add like, oh, Ja Rule, he's this street guy. You got 50 Cent. Oh, he's street. You know, and then wife beaters and do-rags and headphones. And then you got Destiny's Child with Bills. Right? Cool. Okay. The guys in the street, white beaters, cool. It's an image. Everything is an image. Yeah. And because people are like, oh, that's the image, we're gonna run with it, you get mainstream, and that's where it's like, oh, mainstream, that's hip hop now. Yeah. And it wasn't good. enough.
Okay.
I'll say the actual art form of it was being neglected, and that was a lot of it. So, you know, but you still had neo soul going on the side.
Yeah.
You know, you had Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Common, Black Thought. They're doing amazing things, but it's not in front like
right.
everything else. Like, they're not really playing that on 106 in Park.
No effects.
Not
so
on
you're
MTV.
saying more so your beef with the 2000s is originality. Like,
yeah,
everybody kind of just like got put in the pocket and ran in the pocket. They never like really tried too hard to like step out of it.
Yeah, like
fair.
Everybody bought into it. It was the beginning of like even how people consume music.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, everybody likes this, so I like it too, because I have to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when it got really, really, really weird. And then the 2010s come along, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
people are doing whatever they want now. You got Kid Cudi and, you know, early Drake. It was cool. It was cool. They were just seen as kind of the younger guys, and it was cool. But now it's just a mix of all of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do we do? So
yeah, you got to sift through. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Another unpopular opinion question.
Okay.
Who's your most overrated artist, you think?
Most overrated.
Overrated. We can do
goodness.
over and under, but
Most overrated. Okay, we're talking about whole artists or at what they do.
we'll go whole artist.
Whole artists. Okay. Overrated. Overrated.
I have one. I feel like mine is a really unpopular opinion. I'm not.
I have two super unpopular opinions about this. Overrated. Well, damn. That's another one. As I've gotten older, so I'll do 3 that are overrated in my opinion at this point in their career. And this is no shade to any of them. I love all of them.
No, of course.
No shade. J. Cole. I know. I have grown to realize, and then I used to put him really high. I've grown to realize that
I'm not gonna lie, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Slightly.
And he's great at rapping as a total artist. He could have better ideas.
Yeah.
He could stretch out a little bit.
I didn't really listen to this last album, if I'm being honest, and I hate to say it because I do love Cole, but like this last one, I was kind of like, okay.
Not great replay value. Great rapping.
Yeah.
But that's not all. So the comparison to Kendrick over the years has thrown me off. Because at first it was like, oh, okay, cool, but as someone is completely like pushing and trying new sounds and
okay, fair. Also performances.
Performances as well. Somebody being on a stool in front of thousands of people versus somebody being in a box and dancing and it's different, right? Yeah. Second one, I mean, I feel like this is a lot of people's opinions and it comes from a place of hate. Mine is not from a place of hate. Like, I love this guy and this Drake. Not from a place of hate. I only say that because diehard Drake fans are delusional. Like, they have there's no chill.
I will say I had to go back because I felt like he went pop.
Yeah.
And so when I felt like that, I was like, man, forget Drake, whatever. And then I went back to like make my faves from Drake playlists, and I was like, this is almost essentially every album. So I really can't hate anymore.
He's outstanding. He's just created a fan base that is similar to like a Nicki Minaj fan base, or I'm not even gonna say the other name, but it's like they can do no wrong and they cannot ever receive any like musical criticism.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to say, oh, this was not the best, but that doesn't mean that they're not great or they can't be your favorite, but they take that to heart, you know. So
that is true.
I only say that because of the fan base.
They
rate him way over, I feel, the worth, but you know.
Okay. That was two.
Oh, my third. Overrated. goodness. People not gonna like this. Lil Durk. I still don't get it. I try, but it took me a while to understand Kodak. It took me a while. Like it took me a while to even nod my head to like G Herbo. But
okay, her be upbeat sometimes, so you gotta get used to her.
Yeah, no, I mean later in his career was cool,
yeah.
but I think that part, me saying that, comes from me maybe not being in the environment to listen to that with the people, because when Chief Keef, like, you know what I'm saying, when Chief Keef was hot, like way back when, I was like, no, I feel this shit, like I'm here, like and then I got into Durk when I went to Baltimore because everybody loved him. Like he came and performed at the homecomings and everything. Like, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't get it. So I pulled up to the party late. And I just never was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna slide back. I mean, he has a few where I'm like, yeah, cool, but it's definitely a client. They love every single
I just feel like them people you said, you gotta hear them in Houston. Environment.
It's environment. Environment has a lot to do with it, for sure. For sure.
Me going to TSU, like I didn't really listen to like a whole lot of like trap music or anything.
Yeah.
That really came when I got out there, and so that's when I got it. Like when I went to, I recently went to the Future concert, but the one in Houston.
Yeah.
DJ's playing the whole arena. When Durk comes out.
Yeah, really.
Crazy.
Really.
All he had to say was OTF game, you heard? Stupid.
See, and I get it. I definitely get that. I feel like I had to see a few people live before I was like, oh, I truly respect this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and that's what a lot of people. So, you know.
That's fair.
Those are my three. And the last two, no shade. The first one, all smoke. I'll argue anybody down about that. The second two, you know.
Yeah.
That's just on top of my mind.
Okay. Let me think. Oh, how important to you is like the visuals? Because I know for like a good handful of your songs and your singles you were putting out, you do have some visuals. How hands-on are you with that? Are you like picking, like, are you sitting down in like a, what do they call it when you write it out loud? There's a specific word for it.
The storyboard.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying I absolutely hate how involved I am with everything. So visuals are all edited. The shots are chosen, directed, color graded by me. And yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a lot, and it's all a part of that mindset where it's like, oh, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it all the way, and the quality has to be just as good as anybody else.
Right.
Because I feel like at the end of the day, you know, if I have to refigure things out like I did with music, but with photography, with editing, with whatever the case may be, until I can have a team that is thinking as far ahead as I am, then I'm gonna do that, because nobody's gonna take care of it like me, because nobody is going to care as much as I do. So as far as how hands-on it is, like honestly, all the visuals so far have been, especially, all the visuals for this project have been, we're at a photo shoot. There's a video setting on that camera. Get it right, just start taking random videos. I'm gonna start using these props. And other times it's like, oh, that's a cool shot. All right, for loafers, that's a cool shot. I'm gonna sit in the middle of this couch and just walk towards me. I'm gonna rap looking at you, not breaking any eye contact. We're just in it. And that was all one shoot, like everything. We were walking out, and then the Danger Freestyle thing where I'm like black and white outside, and it's been all done in post, all like just outside, we were going home, we were leaving the thing. So that was all done at the same time. And it came down to like, you know, we have content, we just have to make it go.
Yeah.
So yeah, and music videos, like full blown music videos, I edited my first 2 for this album. They'll be out soon. Coming soon. So yeah, it's crazy. Now the full music videos, that sucks. It's so much attention to detail.
Yeah.
But you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what I do. Attention to detail all day.
Fair enough. All right, I want to hop back into the catalog.
Okay.
Saran wraps.
Yeah.
One question is, are we getting a volume 2?
Yeah. Probably.
Okay, no rush on me. You just I'm not rushing. I'm just asking.
And that's a whole different conversation. Because I feel like now I'm in the place to do what I was actually trying to do with Saran Wraps. Mm. So in the beginning, it was quarantine, you know, and I felt like I was not being purposeful with what I was just sitting in the crib doing all day, and that was just music. So I felt like I had met enough people over time to put like a little collective together, and we just do this, and all of the streaming proceeds go to a charity, or you know, that was the goal. And it was picking up a lot of steam with not enough hands on deck, and it was cool to get a response, but trying to manage 15 artists and features and producers and art, like it's difficult.
Yeah.
We are terrible communicators, majority of us. So when there are deadlines and you can't meet the deadlines, it's like, all right, we'll take what we got and we'll just throw it together. So that is what happened. And super grateful for Saran Wraps. I mean, now I feel like I'm in the position to do it even bigger, right? Like, it's a lot of good collabs in the works with people that, you know, get a lot of good playtime, you know? So, yeah, maybe, you know, that's definitely something I thought about. It'd be cool to do in the city, though. It'd be cool to do, like, actually.
I think, like, I thought it was cool. I don't know if you were in Dallas when you did it, but like, okay, fair enough. Because I thought you did it in Dallas, and I was like, yeah, this is what Dallas needs. Like, nobody's really like, you know, grouping us together. I know a couple people that like have their own kind of groups in Houston, but like you really don't hear too much about that out here, which is something I hope gets better. But you know, how that be.
It's on the way.
That's how I feel too.
I think it's close. It's close. It's just. And excuse my honesty, Dallas it's changed since like me coming back has changed. So when I left, it was like anybody that was doing music and that heard your music, you know, it was all love, you know. Even talking to people, it was just, now it's weird, you know. It's weird. Different. It's a lot of talented people in the city, but they will say, oh yeah, you did that, bro, like, but just to you. It won't be to everybody that's listening to me. Is kind of like this greedy thing, like, oh, I'm gonna tell you that you're good, but everybody else, I just want them to worry about me, and we're not gonna share. And if we are sharing this, we all got mutual fans, so it's this club over here, and it's like that, and it's all these little pockets, and it's weird.
I think what we need is like how Houston kind of had like multiple people pop off. Like, I just feel like sometimes like in Dallas, like people need to see that like multiple people can do it at the same time. So then the competition feel will go down rather than, does that make sense? Yeah,
like it should be an area of like, oh, we're like this is camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? Rather than, oh, if you pop, I'm gonna be upset because it should have been me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people in the city that are close too, And a few of them, they do reach back and they, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it creates this weird sense of, okay, when I was here and you were here, I reached out and I said, oh, my stuff is good, but you didn't listen.
Yeah.
So then when that person gets here,
yeah,
and now they're like, no, it's just me, you know, it's me and my people. So it's I don't know, it's a lot of egos, it's a lot of like, you know, people are scared. It seems like they want it to be them, but if it's somebody else, it can't be them too. Yeah. Weird. But I feel like once that's dropped and that's over with, oh my God, we could be a bigger powerhouse than Houston, I believe.
Agreed.
We could if we just dropped that, you know, so. And I'm working every day to stop that, you know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna stop. I love this city, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully we get there.
Okay. I want to talk about a couple songs.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to get to Bills because the sample.
Oh, yeah.
The sample, I was like low-key freaking out. Yeah. I played it on my drive home from work and I was like, wait, I know this. Yeah. Wait, this is Dreamville. Yeah. Wait, this is crazy. So talk about how like you decided to pick that as a sample, how that kind of fell into play.
Yeah, so that whole song, I actually found the music collective that created that sample and got that sample cleared along with like crazy. 3 others. Yeah, they made that sample maybe in like 2014, something like that. So yeah, but they had an entire like sample pack. And whatever producer, I don't even know what producer made that, but whatever producer made that, he took that sample from that pack and, you know. And you know, a lot of producers say that today, you know, composition packs and stuff like that. Yeah. That's a lot of how people make things. But the goal for me, right, the first sample, it's also used in, I forget, it's Redville. Redville is I believe DMV area, DMV adjacent. Super good. That first sample, he used the same people. And it was picking up steam. I saw him perform it live and stuff like that. And I was like, man, what if I made a song and I made it the same sample. I'm not changing this. It sounds familiar. Yeah. But I'm rapping and telling a story in a way where people will remember it now for a different way that they originally remembered it. And that's why I chose those two. And then because it's like a 3-part thing. That last one is still the same self-love sample. Just reverse, lower, all of that stuff. But it's the same sample. And I think that it's like this thing of like, oh, this is like heartfelt. And then like, oh, I know this. Yeah. Then after like, oh, this is different, but it's the same thing. So it's running you through like this roller coaster. Like when you're hearing the music, it's like, oh. Yeah. Then if you go back and listen to the story, it's like, oh, damn, like this is. Yeah. Woo. Like, so yeah, I think all of those samples though, they really touched on, and the songs that were there, they really touched on like love, and they touched on like where the person's heart was at the time. And I think that's what that song was pretty much about. It's more so about love lost and it feeling like a damn bill, right? Yeah. So like it hits like that, you know? So yeah, that's how that came about. So yeah, everything was chosen there on purpose, for sure.
Love that. I do want to say on this project, I expected, because I feel like you're a little bit like, usually you're a little bit more groovy. Yeah. And you did give me a little rah-rah on this project, and that was fire. I wasn't expecting it. Caught me off guard. Yeah. Definitely caught me off guard. Okay, what was your favorite song to put together on this?
My favorite song gotta be one of the last 3, because those are the newest ones. Okay. And I felt like I lived those out as I was. It was like those were revelations that were coming to my mind as I was saying, "Oh, this is done now," you know. So that's always a great feeling. Easiest song to put together was Sunday Morning. I wrote that in a Costco parking lot.
Okay.
10 minutes, done. It was, so that one is my favorite because it's like, oh damn, I'm kind of good at this. Like that was the first time.
It came a little easy.
Like damn, that was cool. Like went in, recorded it. As soon as I put my groceries up, done. Didn't touch it afterwards. And this was like fresh off of losing the music.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know where it was gonna go. It's like short, but I'm saying a lot. So I think that one or Outdated, just because of how organic that one happened too.
Okay.
Super organic. So, yeah, shout out.
Let's talk building blocks.
Yeah.
That's a deep one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a deep one. That's a deep one. What made you decide to kind of go there on that?
So, funny enough, Building Blocks the original song of Building Blocks was Amendment to Beauty and Disaster. Beauty and Disaster was a song that was on like my first on all platforms project, Bonita. Came out in like 2017, I believe 2018, something like that, one of the two. But Beauty and Disaster, it was on there, and it was a lot of people's favorite. And you know, that always was weird to me because I always thought that song like, oh, I'm airing out my dirty laundry, da da da.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wanna, why are people liking that, you know? And I think creating Building Blocks was like, oh, let me amend that because it's about this, but like now, you know, being older and dealing with other things, it's like, oh, like now I have a better idea of what the beauty and disaster of like love and understanding yourself and where you come from and how that affects your relationships and da da da. Yeah. And I amended it because listening back to it, it almost sounded childish. Like, oh, what the hell am I talking about? Like this was a thing that was put together. Yeah. You know, so Building Blocks, it was written in just like a dark candlelit room. Like at least the first part. The first part had been done for like 2 years. Damn. That first half. Because that was the part where I was like, oh yeah, like I'm saying something with a purpose and like it's gonna hit. It's slow, it's on this piano, but even like anybody that, you know, the hardest guy is gonna be like, oh, he's kind of right. You know what I'm saying? Not a bunch of wordplay, it's just the truth. Like here's the bare truth. I had that song. That it was originally just the first part. And a producer I met when I came out here who has become like it's my brother, Michael Ferguson. Ferg is like, he thinks like me, very sporadic with creativity and stuff, but he does that with bass lines and trap music and I'm on the piano. I want to make an R&B song and just rap over it. You know, like that's my reference point. But he's just like, we gotta.
So he's the one that brought in a little mix of
Outdated, Elam, like he is the punch on your face to that. Any like, oh, now we got chords in, and then that's me. Yeah. So it mixes very well because it's a crazy contrast. But yeah, on Building Blocks, it was just like, oh, I need like the opposite. Like, yeah, this is the truth, but how do we treat it? Yeah. You know? And the second half, he actually sent me a 2-part song. And the second part was what ended up being on there. The first part, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. Like, this is cool. And when he sent the second part, I was like, oh, people will like this. Yeah. And I think, my little sister was at my spot. I'm in the studio making this. And when I put the beat switch in there, I played it out on the monitors, and she was like she was asleep. She came out. What was that? Yeah. I said, oh yeah.
That's it.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Cool. So then I finished it, and I went to Ferg's spot and I played it. And he's just like, what is this ballad? Like, is this a ballad? What is it? And then it's a vocal, and then boom, like now it's trap.
Yeah.
This is perfect. Like it works. So yeah, it just came together organically. I chop stuff together all day because that's just my roots. So yeah, that's really how we collaborate. We come up with something and then it turns into not what we came up with.
Yeah.
But it works. So that was
it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
One of my faves on there. Okay. If you could visit any era of music and fashion, where would you
go? At the same time or music and
we can split it. You can split it up.
Music. Honestly, one of the best eras of music, I feel like I'm content with being around in the late 2010s, early 2010s, really. 2013 to 2017, most specifically.
2016 was fire.
Oh,
2016 was a time.
God. To understand what was going on at that time, yeah, you had it.
Yeah.
Like, a close second would maybe be the 90s, maybe. But that was crazy. Now, fashion, no, absolutely not. Early 2000s fashion, no. 90s fashion, cool. I might just say, though, 80s, like, runway fashion was dope. So dope. They were doing a lot of weird stuff with formal wear.
Yeah.
Like, that's when they were, like, breaking that. And that was cool as hell. So yeah, I think that was dope. And then like casual wear in the 90s.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean,
like
it's a little throwback
vibe. Still on the same vibe today.
Yeah.
That's what the cool kids wear. Today.
You heard it here first. I'm a cool kid. If y'all didn't already know. That's what it is.
I will say a few things. There's a deluxe featuring like really, really, really good talent. We got
how many more songs? Cause you got
right now it's 15 extra songs. Cutting it down for sure.
I was gonna say
I'm gonna say at least 7.
Okay.
So, and there'll be good ones. I think I'm excited about those. Working with great people in the city, out the city. We got a Griselda feature, which is cool. So that's cool. So yeah, it's good stuff. That's coming. Merch is on the way. Real good merch coming.
Tees, hoodies, everything, or are you trying to go a little bit more fashion on it?
Yeah, like I want to make, or I want to be able to sell merch that people are gonna actually wear rather than, I bought it to support, but it shrunk in the washing machine and now my little sister wears it to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to actually make some pieces that people will wear. So yeah, that being said, everything is by hand, screen printed by hand. We got work jackets that are altered by hand. So it'll be dope. I think that'll be real cool. So there's that. And yeah, good visuals coming out soon. We'll be featured on a few popular little platforms, so that'll be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been cool. I think it's going. It's all coming together. It's going full fledged, and I'm excited.
All right. So, how much of a team do you have right now? And how important is having it, or like how do you feel the lack thereof it is like affecting things?
So,
if at all.
Yeah. So, the closest thing I have to a team is co-producing with Michael Ferguson.
Okay.
And my mixing engineer up in Canada.
Okay, international with it.
That's the team. That is the team. Other than that,
Okay.
I do the promotion, do the write-ups. Shout out Cameron Wilkerson. Did a bunch of write-ups for me in the past. A few on this album for sure. But yeah, content, promotion, budget, demographic, where we promote, all of that. I keep up with the number, all of that. So it is me. I am my artist portion of it. I am that one. So yeah, I am my team. Good thing, I am in control.
Right.
My ideas will never not be heard, and it'll always go the way I want it to.
Right.
Downfall, I have a full-time job. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta make money.
I work, and it's a demanding job. I mean, I've been in the tech industry for 5 years now, and it doesn't get it doesn't get easier. It gets more demanding. Now I'm working in the medical field.
Okay.
It's like doing IT for hospitals, so stuff is breaking all the time. But stuff can't break at a hospital, so it's like, oh, now I'm on call like a doctor, you know, all the time. And you got that with, but damn, I need to do these 5 videos for rollout. I need to edit these 4 photo shoots. And thank God that Instagram has a scheduled post feature now. Right. Everybody kind of does now. I wish they would do that better with stories at Instagram, please. But yeah, I just sit up. I remember when I said, all right, we're gonna do rollout, I was up maybe 50 hours straight. Just going, bunch of Red Bull, 5-hour energy, monitors everywhere, work, rollout, finish these videos, get these photo shoots, and 27 posts just there. So yeah, it's the lack of a team. Yeah, it's super time consuming. It sucks. It kind of makes you hate everything that is not creating the music. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully, because it gets to the point where people don't really do it for the love. You gotta pay some people to be your team.
Yeah, that's true.
So
very true.
Hey, once it gets to that point, hey, cool, y'all do it. But until then, we grinding.
Okay, last question, and then we're gonna do the homie thing.
Yeah.
But stay independent, or are you trying to get signed?
Depends on the contract and who it is that I'm signing with. Okay. What kind of deal I'm signing. Staying independent is cool. It just takes all of your time and your money. And that sucks, but you get your money back if
everything works out.
If the content is good, if the music is good. If not, then, but it's better ways to do it, right? Like learning how to do everything on your own is probably it's the best way to go. Yeah. Because when you can't afford a team or you can't afford people to do your video, you can give them very specific instructions so it never comes out bad, or not within your aesthetic. So that is one. The label thing, I've seen people go into label deals and be great. Yeah. But I've also seen people get signed to Def Jam and they still live next door to me. Yeah. Nobody knows that they will be signed to Def Jam because they can't really floss. They might be on the road a bit, but it's getting pushed to a demographic that might not be theirs, or you know, is getting pushed to the demographic that is accepting the person that they or the artist they want to be.
Right.
You know, and I'd say that's always a downfall. But every now and then you run into somebody that is at a label that's like, we love everything that you're doing. We don't want to change that. And boom, we do need a percentage because we're going to front you this money.
Right.
But like, yeah, like you have complete control. They might take some more money off of that, but it just depends on what matters to you. And what matters to me is, I like to perform. I want to perform. I want to have all of the props on stage that I want. I want to give a show, you know. As long as, if I'm getting signed, if they can accommodate that, I still get paid. I got enough to, you know, handle everything. As soon as they pay me more than my day job,
you go?
Adios, day job.
Right.
Because, you know, when your passion makes more than your job, now your passion is your job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's always my motto with it. So, you know, hey, hopefully this is the stepping stone to run in that direction. But yeah, you know, independent until it don't make sense no more.
Till then. All right. I appreciate you coming through.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. And I just want to say, consistency, like in the sound of music, is definitely here. So tune into the project, past due. You heard there's gonna be a deluxe, there's gonna be merch. Support the kid when he decides to say if he's having shows or not, whatever he decides to do. We'll let you know. All right.
Here.
Yeah.
Cool. Some of my homies that y'all should check out. We have Sway Jetson. Definitely check out Sway Jetson. Great artist. If you know, he's in a lane of his own. We got Scutino. Take a listen to Scutino. Great melodic guy. Nojo Wallace. Project coming soon. Great project. Great guy. Rap his ass off. Great one. We got 1PA Spook. Shout out to Spook, man. Great artist as well. Project on the way. Naps. Michael Ferguson. Listen to Michael Ferguson. Great producer. He produced on everyone I just said, all of their projects. Yeah, we'll say Esco. Sincerely Esco. Dandy Son. Pierce Washington.
Period.
Boom.
All right, that's it.